Welcome to Leverage Point On Demand Training. In this installment, we will cover units of measure. Adding units of measure to a value model is one of the most important steps, and it's often the one which causes the most confusion, especially for new users. However, defining different units of measure early in the process can save you a lot of time and trouble later on. It's very important to know the difference between a price unit of measure and a customer unit of measure, and the best way to explain that is with an example. So let's say we are all in the red paint business. We package and ship our red paint in 1-gallon cans. So it's quite normal for us to price our paint that way, as in price of paint equals $20 a can. This is a price metric. It's how we sell and how the customer purchases our product. Now, in this example, our customer is an OEM of high-end refrigerators, particularly bright red ones. If we truly want to show this customer value, then 1-gallon cans is a really poor choice. Why? Because the OEM really doesn't care about 1-gallon cans, or for that matter, whether the paint arrives at their factory in 50-gallon drums or tanker trucks. It's not the main reason why customers buy the paint. In fact, they don't even care about the paint at all. What they are really buying is the red color. That's their real need, getting their refrigerators bright red. Paint happens to be the primary way to do that, but perhaps there may be other non-paint coloring technology that can do the same job. So therefore, if we want to show value to our OEM customer, it makes much more sense to talk about it in terms of value per refrigerator. The customer unit of measure in this example is per refrigerator or per unit. Suppose our paint can reduce the cost of making the refrigerator red, or make it red faster, or with less labor. How about making the refrigerator look more attractive, which increases its price? All of these differentiators make sense to show on a per refrigerator basis. Showing it on a per can basis is not very intuitive and frankly kind of silly. Now another alternative is to use per year as a unit of measure. The best thing about per year is that it is easily converted from other units. For example, number of paint cans per year or total number of refrigerators manufactured per year. Next we'll take a look at how units are set up in our training example, air ventus cooling system. I'll pick up from where we left off in the last chapter. On the very first tab, you'll see a field for entering the customer unit. In this example, we're talking about two competing HVAC systems for a facility. Since there isn't an obvious production unit here, we can choose year, which will work for most models. However, if we were building a model for the red paint and refrigerator example from earlier, an obvious choice would be refrigerator. But to start here, let's choose year. Note this More Units link. When I click on that, the Units and Currency dialog appears. This is where you can define multiple units of measure. At the top, you already see the base customer unit year, which we just put in. By the way, this is also where you select the appropriate currency symbol for this model. The default currency is for US dollars, but you can change that in your system preferences. As you can see from this drop-down, you have several other choices. Note that these currencies are for display only. That is, changing this drop-down from US dollars to euros will not multiply your calculated dollar values by an exchange rate. This will simply show your calculated values in euros, not US dollars. To the right, you see the default number of decimals, or precision as we call it in the tool, for this unit, which is 2. Although I can change that if I wish, from 0 to 6, I'm going to leave it like this for now. Note there is a link that will let me add alternative units if I click here. Here I'll add system life for an HVAC unit. Notice I have to quantify my alternative unit in terms of number of base unit, which in this case is year. In this example, an HVAC system life will last 10 years, so I'll add 10 here. However, there are cases where your alternative unit of measure will be a fraction of your base unit. For example, if you needed to replace your HVAC system 4 times a year, you would need to type 0.25 here. An easier way to do that would be to click this flip button here and choose 4 HVAC system lives per year. So, with the example given of a 10-year system life, this means that any per year calculation will automatically be multiplied by 10 if I choose to display results per HVAC system life. Since that will likely be a large number, I'll reduce the decimal points or precision for this unit of measure to 0. I can add alternative units of measure here if I want by clicking Add Alternative Unit, but I'll skip that for now. Next, I need to define the price unit for the competitor in our offering. Below, the pop-up dialog says 1 year requires one blank of our competitor, NTG, in our offering BTR system. Here's where you may choose to add in your price unit. In the red paint example we spoke of earlier, your base unit of measure, which in this model is year, may be one refrigerator, which is a customer production unit. If it takes 1 gallon of red paint per refrigerator, here under our offering, instead of BTR system, would say red paint. Our price unit would be gallon cans, and each refrigerator would require 1. In this example, our offerings are sold per year, so I will add year for our offering price unit and year for our competitor price unit to complete this pop-up. To commit this data, click OK and then click Save. Note that I can access the Units and Currency dialog from anywhere in my model by clicking More and Units and Currency. Before I end, I want to briefly mention an advanced topic called acquisition efficiency. This occurs when a unit of your material performs better than the competitor, which sometimes occurs with innovative products. From our paint example, if our 1 gallon were to replace 2 competitor gallons, this would be an acquisition efficiency. In this example, if I say in my competitor unit that 1 year requires 2 years of NTG, you will see this bottom section appear. If you run into this situation, I strongly recommend you watch this special video for additional instructions. This concludes units of measure.